know this always takes me a little bit to figure out, but I'm so glad that you're here. Thank you for coming. Let's see here. Where do I want to go? And this always takes me a little bit to. Nope, that's not what I want to do. Figure out, but that's what I want to do. Oh, goodness. I know this isn't that complicated, but it seems that I'm always missing at least something. Good morning. Happy Monday. So glad that you're here. I am very excited to be here this morning. As I already posted in the chat, today is always a really big day for me because School of Love opens for registration. And this is Mother's annual deep dive into transforming something, a challenge, a problem, an issue, or something you want to expand, something inside yourself that you want to shift, that you want to transform through using the power of love. And for those of you that were able to participate in the masterclass series this last week or watch the videos, you got a little taste of the deeper course. And I put the link in the chat here if you want to check it out, because it is truly an extraordinary experience. And I don't say that lightly. I know that like every time Mother comes, it's so wonderful and it's really beautiful. But doing something with her over a long period of concentrated time, I don't think I phrased that very well, but it's very different, than just these little short live streams, and they can be very inspiring and help you energetically somewhat, and make you feel good, uplifting, all that. And that is absolutely fantastic. But when you are consciously co-creating a transformation with her, it's just phenomenal. I love it. And even without, I know this sounds strange, but even without any kind of concrete, I'm going to get this out of it, or this is my goal, and I'm going to, end with this. And a lot of that happens. People this year we're focusing on self-worth. Everybody's going to be focusing on the same challenge, which is very exciting. We've never done that before. So I'm really, really excited to see how that happens, because of course I personally need that as well. So I get to go through the course as both a student and the channel. So that's really awesome for me. But even though I know that by the end of the course, my self-esteem will have shifted. I know this now because I've done it for 3 years, and every year I get a very powerful shift, very strong transformation that just keeps going. And for me, doing it every year, it just keeps building, on itself, which is so extraordinary. But what I love now this year, I feel like I'm going into this not necessarily to get concrete, solid results, because I know I'm going to get those. Like I already have the faith that that's going to happen. And instead of taking the actions and making the effort in the course to get those concrete, that concrete shift or results, I can't wait to just make the effort and take the actions, because they feel so good to do in and of themselves. Like the results are great, but I think maybe for the first time this year, I'm excited about the journey more than the results, which is which to me, okay, this is the crazy part. To me, that's the results, right? When I can let go of the results, when I can let go of my attachment to the outcome, when I can let go of my expectations and my assumptions, that is like proof of the results right there. So it's such an exciting time for me. And I will give you all a heads up. I don't know if I'll be able to continue these live streams. I'm going to do my absolute best to do that. But this year, Mother has created a much more expanded School of Love. There's a lot more going on. There's some phenomenal special guests that will be teaching live classes. One of them, Deborah Hess, will be teaching every week. So I'll be attending all of that as well. So as the channel and student, this is going to take up a lot of my time. And at the same time, believe it or not, I'm right in the middle of writing or really editing Mother's next book. So I have a lot on my proverbial plate at this moment in time. So my live streams may be a little more sporadic. I'm so hoping that it'll work out with my schedule that I can do this. But I just wanted to give you all a heads up that I'm not sure. So if you're on my email list, and if I decide, this is just too much, I can't do it, I will send out an email to let you all know. But if you're not on my mailing list, then you may not know until you show up, and then you can't find the page or the link or the live stream. So just letting you guys know. It's so good to see you all here. I know, Alexandra, I just love you. You were the first person to sign up for School of Love 2021. Yay, Alexandra. A few people have come after, but I just had to laugh. I was like, oh, I love it. I just love your enthusiasm. You are so precious. And I mean that from my heart to yours. So thank you for being the first. You are a trailblazer, and I love you. So, all right, here we go. Oh, good, Anne-Marie. I'm so glad you registered. That is awesome. That is awesome. All right. Debbie, I'm so glad you felt such an incredible blessing from watching the first masterclass. That's fantastic. That is awesome. Well, if you felt that from one masterclass, just imagine how you would feel after the School of Love long course. Okay, let's get started. Hello, beloved ones. It is wonderful to be here with you today. Thank you so much for joining me. Today, I want to dive right in to an update, spiritual, emotional, mental, physical update on this global pandemic that seems to just go on and on and on. It has been a little while since I have spoken about it directly. And I will tell you that the pandemic and all the ramifications, the fallout, everything that has happened as a result is really the reason why I asked Danielle to start to set these live streams up, because I knew that you would need my live presence, the comfort that comes with it, the energy that I share, and of course, my grace that is endless. So many months ago, I did a much longer webinar that is now here, and it was a live stream, so it is on the YouTube channel, about the pandemic. But because of the extraordinary changes that are happening on your planet energetically, your human race is evolving, the planet Gaia herself is evolving, and you have to adapt to her changes because you are part of her ecosystem. So you are not the only species on the planet that has to shift. But of course, being sentient beings, it's easy to feel that you're it. You're the only part of the ecosystem that is that has to change, that is being challenged to change, that is being encouraged to grow and shift. But that is not so. You are just one among many, but you happen to be a very prominent one, and you have a big voice and a big presence on the planet. So the way things looked when you look out to the future and the realm of possibility, in order to predict the future, we see what is most likely. The future is not set in stone. Thank goodness. Otherwise, you would not have free will. And at this time, things are changing so rapidly that seeing the future, predicting the future, is very, very hard indeed. It is much easier to do for those that are gifted to do so, and those that tend to like to involve themselves with that work. It can be easier for individuals, but for the collective, that's when things get very difficult. So there are two concepts, two words, two spiritual tenets that I encourage you to embrace. And you've already been asked to embrace them, but I'm going to ask you to embrace them for the next few years. And that is flexibility and resilience. Changes are coming faster and faster. And because of the energy of transparency that has been on the rise since the new millennium. One of the great things that you all are learning, great meaning big, maybe not great as in positive, but I feel the word great applies to both, big and positive. So one of the great things that is coming to light for you is how much your governing bodies, whether that be government or religion or any kind of community governing body, you are discovering that there is a pattern where people in charge, no matter how good they are or how kind they are, they have their own bias and prejudice that they are working off of. And sometimes that bias and prejudice says that the masses are not smart enough, or we can't trust them with certain data or information or knowledge. So we are going to manipulate the data or the knowledge so that people will do what we think is the right thing for them to do. And for a long time, in the age that you are leaving, right, for thousands of years, this has worked for the most part, not always, but for the most part. This has been an effective way of working with millions of people or thousands of people or billions, in this scenario, billions of people, right? So here are some examples when it comes to this pandemic. So much of the world still doesn't really know exactly how it started, because it came out of a region on the planet where information is highly controlled and transparency is not so welcome. So a place like China or Iran or Saudi Arabia or North Korea, these are regions where the energy of transparency will take the longest to gain momentum, because there is so much in place to discourage that energy, right? To repel or fight against that energy. Whereas other regions tend to be, the populace tends to be more open to transparency. But all of that is changing globally. Transparency will permeate the entire planet. It will saturate your way of living, but you're not quite there yet. So what hobbled much of the response to this viral pandemic has been a lack of transparency from the very beginning. And then another example in the United States, when health officials first said, don't wear masks, it's not going to help. And they said that not because they really thought it wouldn't help. Anyone who knows about the common cold knows that if you spend time kissing someone or somehow inhaling the droplets from their mouth, or you get some kind of mucus is transferred, you stand a chance, depending on your immune system, your energetic vibration where you are in your life on that day, that time, you run a risk, or there is a chance that you will become infected with their cold virus, right? That's how viruses work. Since they are not alive in and of themselves in the way that bacteria is, they need a medium by which they are shared between either human or animal populations. So by just simple common sense, it would have been better had everyone started wearing masks. But they believed that the population would panic and go out and buy all the masks, and there wouldn't be anything left for the healthcare workers, who of course needed them very, very much. So instead of being honest and saying, this is how it is, please don't buy a commercial mask. You will benefit from a couple layers of cotton or something that you can wrap around your nose and mouth when you go out or when you're with others. But please leave that commercial equipment for the healthcare workers, because we're going to have big influx. So instead of trusting you all right away, they chose to lie to you. And that one lie is responsible for an enormous amount of death, because there are many people who died or have become very ill and unable to recover. Some people are having very long-term effects. And what's happening for people with this virus is linked back to how it all started. So once that information moves into transparency, a lot of questions will be answered. But to not trust you all with the truth from the beginning cost a lot of people their lives and their health. Now, I do not say this to assign blame, because many of these people are operating, and listen closely, beloved ones, because this is important. They are operating in a system that has been in place for a long time, that everyone in the collective has said yes to. Yes, we agree. Please lie to us and tell us what we want to hear or what you think we should hear, so that we will do what you want us to do, and we don't have to think about it. We don't have to bother with it. We don't have to learn about it. We don't have to step in with curiosity and with a sense of discovery. We can let someone else do it for us. We can abdicate our responsibility. But that is one of the primary things that is changing on your planet, beloved ones. No longer will you be able to abdicate your responsibility. No longer will you be able to point the finger and try to blame just a small few, even if they are responsible for telling the lie or making that judgment call or a decision. So you as an individual have to step outside of being complicit to that and just ask questions. You might not get the answers, and be careful. Be very, very careful of people who say they have all the answers, because most likely they don't. They might have a piece, but they don't have all of it. So it is no surprise that now when those that are in charge want you to receive a vaccine, that everyone is saying, well, wait a minute, we've already discovered that you've lied to us about quite a few things here along the way. Why should we trust this? Again, please be careful not to live in black or white, right? Don't say, oh, all vaccines are bad, or all vaccines are good, or everything every scientist says is all good and true and right, or nothing that the scientists are saying is true and right. Same with government. Same with community leaders. Same with religion. All these big things that are swirling around, they affect each and every one of you. Try to step out of black and white thinking. Don't just assume that something's a conspiracy theory because you were exposed to it from maybe a less than credible source. And I'm not suggesting that you spend all day, every day, what you call it now, doom scrolling, right? Or listening to every YouTube video on the platform. What I'm suggesting is that you step back, breathe, pause, find that place of stillness within you. Come back to your center. Keep breathing. And just sit and ask yourself, what feels right for me? Not based on all the facts that or information. Let me say information, because much of the information out there is not based on facts. Right? So let me step back from the information that I've sort of poured into my brain. Let that sit over here. And let me feel what is right for me, not based on the information, but just what feels right for me. And then once you get a sense of what feels right for you in your actions, your decisions, then you can marry that with the facts that you have been able to uncover. And maybe for you, only a few things feel like facts. Or maybe some of the things that are being presented as facts, you're not certain of yet. That's all right. But be careful that your beliefs, your judgments, your opinions about what is happening on your planet right now are not what is driving your life. Because opinions change, Judgments fall away. Beliefs evolve as you do. They are an important part of you, but don't put all your eggs in that basket. Remember your still small voice. Remember your soul that is one with your higher self, your whole spiritual being. You are much more than just this flesh, than just a set of facts. Those are absolutely vital components to your whole self, but they are not your whole self. If you have confusion or fears, bring your whole self into the moment and feel out what is right for you. And it can be very painful. It can trigger anger when you find out that people who are in charge and are charged with trying to take care of public health have been lying to you, or told one lie that ended up having devastating ramifications. Whether it's in your country or another country, it doesn't matter. Don't let that, your emotions, run your show. Yes, feel your feelings, but try not to make decisions, especially important life decisions, from that highly charged emotional place. It's not a place where you're very interested in facts. It's a place oftentimes where it's hard to connect with your divinity, your higher self, with me, with love, with peace and serenity. When you are worked up, wound up, overwhelmed, heavily charged, it's okay to be there, but don't make decisions from there. Better to err on the side of caution and giving yourself a little extra time than doing something that you feel pushed or pressured into. But do not abdicate your responsibility as a part of the one, as an equal member to your whole ecosystem. That it is your responsibility to take the time to just sit and feel. Maybe you write about it, ask questions, do some research, but ultimately let that settle and then sit within yourself. What is right for you? Because when you are centered, when you are grounded, when you are connected to your spiritual being, no matter what your belief system is, when you are in that place where you are in co-creation with your divine self and the divinity that is all around you, then you are making decisions from a place of light and love, not fear and paranoia and anger and blame. When you make decisions from that centered place, you are empowered. You are empowered. When you make decisions from fear and paranoia and anger and blame and frustration, or righteousness, feeling that you know what's right, you've got it all figured out, that is disempowering. Because what I'm here to do with you, beloved ones, is to connect you to the inner power. Not what looks like power on the outside or presents well as power to others, but what feels empowering to you. And when you allow for flexibility and resilience, then you are absolutely going to be making choices that are good for you, that are sustainable for you, that are healthy for you, that bring joy to you. And take your time when you make these decisions. Rush comes from fear. When you can surrender that, the timing, ironically, things work out much faster for you. So yes, this virus is still going to cause trouble for months to come. And there may be new restrictions that you run into in your life that are frustrating to you. But what is most important for you to see from the bigger picture, from the sort of global picture, is that you all are discovering the cost you pay for dishonesty. Whether you are being dishonest with yourself, with others, or others are being dishonest with you. For a long time, this cost was agreed upon to be worth the price, because the benefit was abdication of responsibility. But that is all crumbling, beloved ones. It's not just that some people are choosing to be more honest right now, and so good things are happening as a result of that. This is something that is beyond your control. The energy of transparency that was really launched into this world at the new millennium will not be slowing down. It will be speeding up. In order to enter this new age, this age of collaboration, this age of equality, nobody gets to abdicate their responsibilities anymore. Otherwise, it won't work. If you want to dismantle the sort of top-down, I'm in charge sort of pyramid structure, if you really want equality, then that requires you to surrender the old habits of abdicating your personal responsibility, not just to yourself, but to the collective. Does that mean you have to march out and change the world single-handedly? In a way, yes. Because every day, every moment that you are willing to simply accept your personal responsibility for your own life. Remember, this is not about being responsible for anyone else. If you are willing, little bit more each day, to accept and then embrace being responsible for yourself, your feelings, your life, what is within your life. You are saving the world. You are uplifting the collective. You are impacting the collective in a positive way. Because even people you don't know on the other side of the world that you will never ever meet, they will feel the energy of, oh, others are doing this. That means I can do it. If they can do it, I can do it. And then we can do it together. And when there is a loss of finger pointing and blame, then forgiveness flourishes. And that is where equality blossoms. But the best part, the very best part, is that when you accept and embrace personal responsibility on every level that you live, your life becomes better. Yes, there will be moments of discomfort and pain and upset. Feelings might run high. But when this becomes just the way you live your life, it will feel so much better. Because who pays the biggest price for the blame you carry? You do, beloved ones. You do. So when you're ready to set that burden down, the world will join you. And so as you move through these many months here ahead, 2 to 6 months, really take the time to explore, be responsible for your own choices and decisions. Try to make them without blame. And keep asking each day, Mother, how can I serve? Please grant me the willingness and the power to take action. And it will be so. My grace is there for all of you. And what does my grace do? It helps you to do what you cannot do for yourself. It helps you to overcome those walls that you run into inside yourself. My grace will inspire you and guide you. It will uplift you and free you. Let it be. Let it be. Let it be. And now I wish to just take a few moments to honor those who have lost their life during this pandemic. They have done extraordinary service in dying from this virus. They have helped in so many ways to remind you of the impact all of you have on Mother Earth, and to show how things have improved when you all are not so out there polluting. They have helped further the energy of transparency by exposing lies, by making you question, to stirring you up, awakening you to what is. They have chosen to serve out of body to help all of you that choose to stay in body. So close your eyes and just let us honor each and every one of them. Their sacrifice and their service. To just say thank you to them for all that they will do moving forward. We love you. Thank you. All right, beloved ones, you may open your eyes. Please be kind to yourself and each other. Open your heart. And all will be well. Have a wonderful week. I love you. Namaste. Oh, thank you all so much for joining us today. I needed that. I didn't realize I needed that until I was listening to her. speak. So I hope that it helped you all as well today. And yes, I agree, Kaya. It is a good thing. Namaste to you, Carol. Oh, I am so grateful for all of you being here. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And you are so welcome, JJ. It's so good to have you here, my love. Hope that you are well. Mwah to you. All right, everyone, have a fantastic week. I'm definitely doing the live stream next week. That's for sure. You are welcome, Alexandra. And so I hope get to see you here next week. Take care and have a wonderful week. Much love to all of you. Bye-bye.